Manchester United maybe about to get new investment / ownership. I mean, last night it was all going off about Sir Jim Ratcliffe's comments and the ownership of Manchester United and all this stuff. And here we have this morning stories coming in, and I'll read it out. I mean, it's coming in from Turki Al-Sheikh, who is massively involved in sport in Saudi. He's been involved in the boxing, the snooker, gets involved in football as well. This is what he put out and caused an absolute stir with last night. The best news on his Twitter account with 7 million followers. The best news I heard today is that Manchester United is in an advanced stage of completing a deal to sell to a new investor. I hope he's better than the previous owners. So this came out about 8 hours ago. The best news I heard today is that Manchester United now in an advanced stage of completing a deal to sell to a new investor. I hope he's better than the previous owner. We've got a little bit of a poll going on here saying, do you want Saudi investment? 92% saying yes, 8% saying no. I'm somewhat confused. I am somewhat confused because last night I read your comments and I knew my opinions were not popular and I knew my opinions were in the minority, and I'm never scared of doing that. So, let the comments flow. But all I read last night on last night's video was, I back Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Giving a manager 3 years is what we want. Sir Jim's right. Credit where it's due. And then I wake up this morning and there's prospect of Saudi investment and people are saying, I want that. All I'm going to say is 2 o'clock today, Ben Jacobs, I'm not going to miss it. It's going to be a cracking show because when it comes to ownership strategy, ownership stories, I think Ben Jacobs arguably is one of the best. I think Mike Keegan's been very good around it as well. What I would say is Turki Al-Sheikh also very, very credible in football, very, very credible in sport, and a massive part of the, sort of UK Saudi sport acquisition scene. He did also post a picture of Mo Salah in an Al Hilal kit, and Mo Salah still plays for Liverpool. So I don't think that we definitely need to believe this. And also his comment is very antagonistic. It's sort of like, great news, I'm hearing about sale investment into Man United. Hopefully they can do better than the previous owners. That doesn't read to me like it's somebody that's involved in it. It sounds like he's heard something. I think there's more to this. What I would say is a lot of people are saying it's a load of crap, this, that, and the other. It's not in the Sun. It's not in the Sun. It's not in the Daily Star. It's not some crappy source. Like, it is somebody that is massively involved in the UK Saudi sport scene. And with that reputation, he doesn't need to sit there on Twitter going, I'm going to wind up, the football world. He doesn't need to do that because it damages the credibility he's built in other sports and football. He doesn't need to do that. So I would acknowledge it and say that as much as we're probably all a bit reticent to believe it, I would say that there's not really a hell of a lot of reason why he would post, I've heard that Man United is now in an advanced state. And look, go back over the comment. I've heard today that Man United is in an advanced stage of completing a deal to sell to a new investor. I hope he's better than the previous owners. He's either going to, banter himself to millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of sport fans, or something's going on. And I don't understand why somebody of his reputation needs to act like Indicalia. I don't understand why he needs to behave like the Sun. I don't understand how he needs to act on social media like an ITK, and he doesn't need to do that. I've seen a few theories as to what could be going on, and a few people are saying maybe it's just investment because we're looking to play games in Saudi. Maybe there's conversations about funding the stadium. Maybe there's conversations about taking 10% in the club. All these things are really, really interesting, and all these things are possible. Do I think we're about to see a total change of ownership? I mean, that would be the dream. That was the dream I had 2 years ago. I mean, I would literally run around my garden in my pants, as much as people won't want to see that. In any weather, I would love to see Man United change ownership, remove the Glazers, remove the debt, and have people come in like a Todd Bowley or whoever who just is obsessed with winning football games. That's what I was talking about last night, which some people didn't seem to understand. That's my dream. I would love to see that. I don't think I'm going to see that. I don't think I'm going to see that. I think what we might see is some sort of investor coming in for the stadium to own that, which would be strange. I don't even know how that works, because if you bring a third party in to build the stadium, they own the stadium. We don't own the stadium. So where's all this money coming in? I don't know. I mean, look, maybe somebody could give us a load of money to build the stadium, and then they make the money back off the stadium, so we don't own the stadium. I think there'd be protests about that, so it doesn't make sense. Maybe it's sell 10% to get somebody to come in to invest in the club. But whichever way it is, it doesn't make sense to just sell the stadium because you don't get the revenue. It's a short-term fix. It doesn't make sense to bring a third party in and give them 20% and dilute the Glazers even more, because then you've got three fingers in the pie. I hope something's happening. I really hope something's happening, because I think whatever it is, it doesn't make sense to do for the Glazers and Sir Jim Ratcliffe unless there is a longer term plan to make a big change. So I hope something's going on. But as you know, I think we've been down this road before. I can't think of anything that involves the word sale or investment that wouldn't be quite disruptive to our future and wouldn't be a foot in the door for somebody to maybe take us over.